Last time, all the students, we have discussed about the one of the algorithm design technique based on greedy approach. Okay, and before this lecture, we have already discussed about the quicksort algorithm, in which we have discussed how quicksort algorithm is used by using the divide and conquer algorithm design technique. Okay. Uh, and that algorithm we have also discussed by taking the pivot point at the last element of the array. And we know that the quicksort is one of the efficient algorithm to sort the array that have a large amount of elements. Okay, so let's start. Actually, at that time in that particular class, we have discussed only about the algorithm and algorithm design technique by using the divide and conquer approach. Okay, and in the last class, we have discussed one more algorithm design technique, greedy approach to solve the knapsack problem. Okay, so let's start with the analysis. How can we analyze? Because as a programmer, we should have to know about the how can we analyze our code, our algorithm. Okay, that is very important because to measure the efficiency of the any of the algorithm. Okay, and measurement is the efficiency of any of algorithm is it is required to just show that whether your algorithm is efficient one from existing algorithm or not. Okay, clear. So before starting to know that how can we analyze any of the algorithm, we should have to know where we have to make one of the mathematical model, some of the mathematical model in our mind, and then means we just have to uh, map our problem in a particular mathematical model. Okay, and then by using this mathematical model or by using this mathematical equation, we'll manipulate this equation and reduce this equation in the dominating term. Okay, the dominating term means like suppose we take one of the equation like uh, a square n square plus 2ab 2 nav, okay, plus 1. Then what is the dominating term is here? N square. Okay, so by using some mathematical manipulation and by manipulate the mathematical equation, we try to reduce of any mathematical equation that is mapped a particular algorithm, okay, in the form of reducing in dominating term basically. Okay, so let's start. How can we map a particular algorithm in the form of mathematical model or in the form of mathematical equation, and then try to reduce this in dominating term of this algorithm in the form of input size. Input size means number of elements sorted by the quicksort algorithm. Okay, so dominating term is very important thing. Now, in the further next class also we'll discuss also some notation to represent the efficiency of any algorithm basically that we have already discussed in data structure. That some of the notation like big O notation, theta notation, omega notation. Okay, again we'll discuss in the context of the algorithm in the analysis of algorithm in that particular lecture basically. In the further in the, some of the class we will discuss this. Okay, so let's start. I just share the screen and try to just show that how can we analyze the quicksort algorithm basically, okay, that we have discussed in the previous class. Let's I just share the screen and if anybody have query then you can ask in the chat box. Okay. Okay. Last time we have discussed this algorithm, quicksort. Okay, and in this algorithm, actually this is the one of the book. You just have to purchase this book and try to take the ebooks from the net. Basically, this is the Corman. Okay, Introduction to Algorithm, third edition. Okay, you just take this book. It covers all of your syllabus basically, and that particular algorithm we have discussed in the previous class, quicksort algorithm, in which we take one of the dominating algorithm or the function that is called partition. That partition is one of the algorithm that we have discussed earlier that place the pivot point in its actual position. Okay, and then recursively we call the quicksort algorithm for the sub arrays. Okay, so this one is the partition algorithm basically that we have discussed. If anybody missed this class, that particular class at that time, then you can just go through these two algorithms and try to understand. And if anybody have query, then you can ask to any mail, or you can just go to my video that I have also shared on the YouTube, our college YouTube channel also. Okay, so this one is the algorithm. That this algorithm is basically used to place the pivot point, because pivot point is very important in the quicksort algorithm. In that particular algorithm, place the pivot point on its actual position. Okay, at every iteration, means n number of iteration will perform up to total number of element remain 2, because minimum number of element required to compare to sort required how many element 2. Okay, so up to this algorithm will be applied from 1 to up to the total number of element remain minimum 2 element in particular array. And we have also discussed that particular the same example in that particular class, in which again I am just repeating this that particular example in a brief. Basically, for example, this array is given here. 4 is one of the pivot point. Why it is pivot point? Because we are taking the last element of the array in that particular algorithm. Last uh, element of the array as a pivot point, and we place this last element and at its actual position in the first iteration of the quicksort by using the partition, by calling the partition algorithm. Okay, so from here you can see that after the number of iterations that here finally we are seeing that the 4 is placed. 4 earlier, and initially it was on last position, and after applying the partition algorithm, 4 placed on its actual position in that particular array. From here we can see that here, okay, in the last, okay, here we can see that the left side, all the elements are less than the 4, not sorted, and right side, all the elements are greater than the 4, but not sorted. Okay, so this algorithm, partition algorithm function is basically used to place the pivot point on its actual position, and then we'll apply the quicksort algorithm again for left sub-array and right sub-array recursively. Okay, so from here we can see that this one is the partition algorithm to place the pivot point, and then left side and right side quicksort algorithm will call for the left sub-array and right sub-array. Okay, so uh, I think this one is clear now. Again, what is basically the quicksort algorithm that we have discussed earlier. Okay, so next we will see how can we compute the complexity of this algorithm that we have discussed earlier. And this example is also clear with all of you that how partition algorithm displays the pivot point on its actual position on every iteration. Okay, clear? Now see, okay, quicksort analysis. From here, you can see that in the worst case analysis, very first we are discussing about the worst case analysis of quicksort algorithm. Okay, that is represented by using the notation you just note it down, CW and N. Okay, so that is one form of the function. Okay, you know that this is the notation of the function basically, in which N is the number of element of the array, means input size. What it is? Input size of the array or input size for the quicksort algorithm. Okay, total number of element in an array. Here W means indicate worst case complexity, of quicksort algorithm. So this is one of the notation. Just understand whether this particular function is used to represent the worst case complexity of quicksort algorithm. Okay, so how can we compute? And as I told earlier in the beginning of this lecture, that we should have to try to make a mathematical model of our algorithm that we have sorted out by using any of the algorithm design technique, like quicksort that we have sorted that sorting problem. Then by using the quicksort algorithm, we are sort the array, and then we try to convert or map this algorithm in the form of mathematical model or in the form of mathematical equation. Now see how can we map the algorithm in the form of mathematical equation. Okay. So at level number of 1 means from here I just want to explain that at level number 1 means when we initially call the partition algorithm very first. Okay, like 4 and that at that particular time 4 was placed on its actual position. I just want to share means this one at level 1 means this whole is uh, one of the iteration of level 1. The whole process is performed in the level 1. Similarly, n number of level is performed in the quicksort algorithm up to sort the array. Okay, so let's start at level number 1. Number of comparison, how many comparison maximum we can perform? N. Okay, if there are n element, then total number of comparison we are performing n. Okay, similarly, after placing the first element on its actual position, how many element remain in the array? In total number of element remain in array n minus 1. Okay, so in next level, level number 2, how many comparison will perform maximum? N minus 1. Okay, so at level number 1, we perform maximum number of comparison n. At level number 2, will perform maximum number of comparison n minus 1. And similarly, when we call the partition algorithm or quicksort algorithm recursively at every level, so suppose at last level that is represented by using r. So in last, how many element remain? 2, because minimum number of element how many required for the sorting or to compare how many element required in an array? 2. Okay, how many elements required? 2 elements. Okay, so that is very important thing. So from here we can see that the n minus 1 and 2. So these are the total number of comparison. How can we compute the complexity of any sorting algorithm? Means sorting means just a comparison is there. Okay, what is there? Comparison is there. Okay, so we just try to find out total number of comparison is performed by using that particular algorithm. And this is the mathematical mapping. This one is the one of the way of mathematical mapping of our quicksort algorithm that we have discussed earlier. Okay, we are mapping this algorithm in the form of mathematical equation. So from here we are seeing that at level number 1, total number of comparison n, at level number 2, n minus 1, at level number of r, your last at level, total number of elements remain or comparison required, basically 2. Basically the total number of element, you can also say, you can say these are the total number of element, and say total number of comparison at any of the things you want to understand. Okay, so uh, this is the representation of the, from here you can see Okay. Basically, how can we write the mathematical equation of just a minute? Somebody is waiting to join the class right now. Okay. So let's start this equation. What it is basically, that's the summation. Summation means the total number of comparison. Total number of comparison or total number of comparison at each level means the function CW that we have. I just explained what is the meaning of this complexity in worst case, and where total number of element is equals to, and then it is equals to summation. This one is the notation of the summation that you all are from the mathematical background. You know very well what is the notation of for the summation from I equals to 1 to how many level number r. Okay, r. Summation is what? N. Initially we have n, then n minus 1 up to 2. So we just add n, n minus 1, n minus 2 up to 2. And what it is basically the summation of this, what will come? You all are from the mathematical background, you know very well, n plus 1 divided by 2. Okay. I think it's not required to explain how it will come, how the summation will come, n plus 1 by 2 minus 1. Minus 1, why minus 1? Because here this is the formula for summation from 1 plus 2 up to n minus 2, n minus 1 up to n. Okay, but here is missing one of the term. One of the term is missing here. Okay, so n plus 1 by n plus uh, 1 divided by 2 minus 1. And what is the dominating term? In the form of big O notation, big O in the form of big O notation, n square, n square plus n divided by 2 minus 2n. Okay, then from here we can see that n square is one of the dominating term in the equation. So the worst case analysis of quicksort algorithm is what? O n square, big O n square, and big O is basically used to I know very well the data structure in the term that big O notation. Big O notation is basically used to represent the hello. Yes. Okay. Big O notation is used to higher bound of the algorithm basically, or means the dominating term of the mathematical equation. Okay, that we will discuss in the further class, or the different notation, different type of notation that we have also learned in data structure. But again, we will discuss these big O notation, beta notation, omega notation. Okay, from here you can see that after uh, simplify this equation, we will get n square plus n divided by 2 minus 1, and in that particular equation, which one is the dominating term? N square. So the worst case complexity of quicksort algorithm is n big O notation n square. Okay, clear? So this is one of the worst case that you know that we have also required to compute the complexity in average case, best case, and worst case. Okay, so now we have to require to compute the complexity in the average case of quicksort algorithm. Okay, so this one is the worst case analysis. Next, we will see how can we compute the complexity for average case analysis. Okay, so but from here, this is one of the very easy mapping of our algorithm. That is one of the very simple example of mapping our algorithm in the form of mathematical equation. Okay, so this is one of the mathematical models every programmer should be in their mind to map the algorithm in the form of mathematical equation, represent its algorithm in the form of mathematical equation, and then reduce this mathematical equation in the form of dominating them, and find out the notation or the complexity by using the notation the form of dominating term by using any of the notation that we go theta, d. Okay. Next, I think is clear. Worst case analysis of Quicksort algorithm. Next, we'll see the average case analysis of Quicksort algorithm. Okay, so for this, we have to require see some assumption, and we have to see again. We for the average case analysis, we are just map or we are just making some mathematical model for average case analysis of our Quicksort algorithm. Okay. So this is one of the way, and from here you can easily understand for every algorithm. Again, in the further class, you have some new algorithms we will discuss, and have to know how we can uh, map or our algorithm in the form of mathematical equation. Okay, so let's start average case analysis. Okay, so just map this average analysis of Quicksort algorithm. Let's just see this scenario, this picture in our mind to make a mathematical model. Okay, okay. After first level. Okay, first level, as we know that the first level, the kth means the pivot point element, means last element, place it actual position. Okay, means the after first iteration or after first level, what will happen? The picture will occur like this. Means suppose one of the element was on, like in our example that we have discussed, the 4 placed on its actual position. Similarly, from here we can see that I just take this one is the 4, and the pivot point partition algorithm is placed this 4 on its actual position here in that particular position. Okay, and here we can see that this one is the first level. Okay, that I want to discuss, and then I want to explain that this one is the picture that I just shared on map the mathematical model. Okay, this one is the first element, and after first iteration it is placed on the kth position on its actual position. Okay, so let's see the same scenario we are using here. Means after the first iteration, k means the first level, the kth element placed its actual position. Means this one is the actual position of the kth element. Okay, and from here we can see that if there are total number of element, how many elements in the array? N. Okay, from here you can see that left index is initial index is 1, right, and last index is n. So total number of elements, suppose n is there. Okay, clear. And if after placing the kth element on its actual position, on the left side how many elements are there? K minus 1. Clear, because it is the kth position. In the left side how many elements it have? K minus 1. And after first iteration, okay, and after first iteration in the right side how many elements it have? N minus k. Okay, I think it is clear. And means in the after first iteration we have k minus 1 element in the left side, and right side we have n minus k element, because total number of element we have n. Okay, here again you can see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 element we have, means n contain the value 8. Okay, and after placing on its actual position, how many elements remain? Suppose it is placed on 4th position, then k minus 1. In the left side, how many elements have? K minus 1, 3 elements. Okay, and the right side, 8 minus 4, 4 element. Okay, so I think this mathematical model or that mathematical is clear in your mind what I want to explain. Okay, so similarly here n is equals to suppose 4, 8, and k is equals to 4. Then in our example, k minus 1 means left side we have 4 minus 1, 3 element, and right side we have 8 minus 4, 4 element. Okay, that we have seen in our example. And I think this model, this picture is clear in your mind. What is basically the mathematical conversion of first level iteration after the first level iteration. This is a mathematical model that we are mapping and try to uh, make a mathematical equation by using this scenario. Okay, so let's start. This one is the mathematical equation, I think, and C of A n. I think this one is also clear. सबको clear होगा ये that I would basically C A m is n is the total number of element of quicksort algorithm, and A means average case analysis and C means complexity that we have discussed earlier in worst case also. The notation is different. CW. Here we are using CAN. Okay, clear? Let's take what is the value of this function average case computation of quicksort algorithms. And from here we can see that n plus 1 means after first iteration, how many comparison, how many elements maximum is there on average there, n plus 1. Okay, so this one is there plus on average again we have to require to compute the time complexity for C of A, average case computation for C of A k minus 1 and average case computation for n minus. I think it is clear. Means average case analysis means the summation of total number of comparison. Total number of comparison, how it will come after first iteration n plus 1. Okay, clear? After first iteration n plus 1, and after that again we will compute the average case time complexity for k minus 1 element. Okay. C of A k minus 1, we are computing C of A and for whole element, but we have only the mathematical picture for only for the first iteration, so we are just making the mathematical equation from the first iteration. N plus 1 total number of comparison from the first iteration plus 1 upon n summation of k equals to 1 to n average case. Again we are computing the average case complexity or time complexity of k minus 1 element plus average case time complexity of n minus k element. Okay, and where from here we can see that the k contain the value greater than 1 and less than equals to n. I think it is clear. K contain value from 1 to n. Now this should be noted down before going on to reduce this whole equation and manipulate this whole equation or reduce this whole equation in the form of dominating term in the form of n. Okay, okay, we have to require to compute dominate. We have to require to reduce this whole equation, mathematical equation, in the form of input size or reduce some by using some mathematical notation like or asymptotic notation like big O omega theta. Okay, clear. So I think the mapping of any of the algorithm, the quicksort algorithm, that's clear. That how can we map or we can create a mathematical equation from an algorithm basically. Okay, the algorithm we have discussed. In average case, we are how can we make how we are making the mathematical equation. Now we are discussing again further we are discussing how can we reduce this equation in the mathematical notation form. Okay, so I think after first iteration, this is the average case analysis time computation complexity uh, by seeing this mathematical model in your mind. That, and by using this mathematical model, we are write down the mathematical equation. This one is the equation. Now we are reducing this equation, okay, by using some manipulation. And we all are from the mathematical background. So we have to have an ability to reduce the any of the mathematical equation in the dominating term. Okay. Not from here. Next, we are looking down that average case of time complexity for 0. 0 means if array contains total number of elements 0, then what is meaning? It is equals time complexity is 0. Okay, and because there are no need of sorting if there are total number of element is 0. If total number of element is 1, then again there are no need of sorting to apply the quicksort algorithm. So again, the average case on time complexity for 0 and 1, what it is equals to G. Okay. Next, we just see that the whole things by using one more Horwitz and Sahani. You can take this book also, second edition of this book, Sahani, Fundamental of Computer. Okay. I'm just taking the computation of the average case. This one is the same equation that I shown earlier in my notes. Okay, and this one is the book PDF. Okay, Horwitz Sahani, Fundamental of Computer Algorithm. Okay, so from here we can see the same equation we are discussing earlier. C of a n is equals to n plus 1 plus 1 upon n on average. On average, no? Due to this reason we are dividing here. 1 upon n. Why we are doing 1 upon n? Because it average is. No? So we are dividing by the n. And summation of C of a minus 1 plus C of a n minus. The same note we have discussed. Now we are manipulating this equation and reducing this equation. Okay, multiply both sides in this equation 3.5 by using the n. Okay, means we multiply this equation by using the n on both sides. Then we are getting this equation is the left side n CAN. Earlier we have CAN in left side, and now we after multiplying by n in left side we have n CAN, and n plus 1 is multiplied by n plus 1 plus 2 CA0 plus 2 CA1 plus 2 plus up to 2 CAN minus 1. How it will come? It just explain through my notes. Okay, I think somebody have doubt that how this equation occur. Let's see the same equation I have write down here. Uh, C of a k minus 1. Earlier we are seeing that this one is the C of k minus 1. We can write down C of k equals to, means we know that k contain value from 1 to n. So C of k minus 1 can be represented. K, just place the value k equals to 1, then C of a is equals to 0. If k is equals to 2, then what is the C of a? C of a is equals to 2 minus 1, 1. C of and k contain value 2, then C of a is equals to 2, and then we can prove this value up to n, and then we finally will get C of a n minus 1. Okay, so from here we can see that if we open this equation and do the summation with up to 1 to n for the value of k, then we'll get C of a k minus 1 is equals to C of a 0 plus C of a 1 plus C of a 2 plus C of a n minus 1. Similarly, C of a n minus k. C of a n minus k, how it's now? Because this is also the summation, the part of the summation in the very first equation. So when we put the value from 1 to n of k, then we get C of a n minus 1. Yes, just put here k equals to 1. Then initially n minus 1. Then suppose we'll put for the next iteration k equals to 2. Then we'll get what? C of a n minus 2, and so on. Then finally we'll get C of a 0. And from here we can see that what the common term we have. C of a 0 here is also C of a 0 here is also. When we sum these two equations, because here we are saying what? Summing these two average case complexity now. Okay. When we sum, then what will happen? Every term come 2 times. Every term coming 2 times. CA0, CA0. This one is also contained CA1. This one is also contained CA1. CAN minus 1, CAN minus 1. Okay. So due to this reason, when we open this equation, we'll get n plus 1 plus 2 C of A 0 plus C of A 1 plus C of A n minus 1. C of A n minus. I think it is clear now how uh, this equation is becoming this one, because these the whole this equation we have seen in my notes that it is equals to 2 CA0 plus CA1 plus CA n minus. And after multiplying both sides with n, we know that NCN n plus 1 and is equals to 1 upon n. So it's cut the n by n. Okay, and we'll get to CA0 CA1 plus CA n minus 1. Okay, now again we are doing some manipulation. Reduce this equation. Okay, replacing n by n minus 1 in 3.6. Okay, means here we have n. So again we are replacing and making one more flavor of this equation, and by replacing n by n minus 1, n is now n minus 1, C of A is as it is n minus 1 and n minus 1 and n minus 1, then we will get n. Okay, from here you can see that n minus 1 plus 1 means 1 cancel, then can get uh, basically the again we get the n minus 1, and here we have 2 CA0 plus CA n minus 2. Why? Because here we are placing what we are placing n minus, don't take this. Okay, here go again. Okay, so C of A n minus 2, because C of A n we have, then n in the last term n contain n minus 1, so n minus 1 minus 1, so it will come C of A n minus 2. Okay, clear? And then both equation 3.6 and this new new flavor of this equation, we'll subtracting this from 3.6, we get what we'll get NCAN. Okay, minus n minus 1 C of A n minus 1 is equals to, and right side again we are subtracting, then we'll get 2 of n plus 2 CA n minus 1. Now again in your mind the question arises that how this equation is become this one. So I just explain again with the notes. Means we have this equation after performing the subtraction of these two equations. Okay, clear? So NCAN minus n minus 1 C of A, when then what we'll do, we just replace or manipulate uh, shuffle the equation from left to right, right to left. Okay, then we'll get NCAN, and this minus term we put in the right side of this equation and add and find out the common C of A n minus 1. Then we'll get only 2, and right side we have n minus 1 C of A n minus 1 plus 2n. So what we'll get, C NCAN is equals to C of A n minus 1. So after that you can see that actually time is very short, so I just completing this. Uh, when we solve this equation, then we'll get when you just go through this book also, we will get the that type of equation. That equation will get, and finally we'll get log n. So this is equals to C of A is equals to O n log n. Okay, clear? I just stop this lecture. In the next session, we'll start. Okay.